Uh, the Alliance for U.S.-India Business has been around for about 8 years. The whole purpose of this organization was that the U.S.-India trade was progressing fairly well, but it was not as rapid as, let's say, the trade between the United States and other countries like China. And since we have started engaging in this activity, the trade has dramatically shown an increase, and I think OSIP has played its small role in doing that. Now, the United States is India's largest trading partner, and also the sphere of activities between the trade between the two countries has grown dramatically. The Alliance for U.S.-India Business has operations in both the United States and India. And unlike other organizations that operate in India, for example, the Chambers of Commerce in India or the Chambers of Commerce in the United States, it's not just focused on one country, like helping companies in the United States come to India or Indian companies come to the United States. We work on both sides. So when we started, there were not too many organizations based in the US who could help Indian companies, whether it was on the issues of the visa challenges that a lot of the IT companies were facing, the piracy issues the entertainment companies were facing, the issues with FDA the Indian pharmaceutical companies were facing. So we started working with them and started engaging with them and getting their perspective onto the US Congress, also helping them with identifying the right locations, and that has helped these companies not just at a macro level but also individually with their activities and their growth. We also have done matchmaking, setting them up with right partners, and we've started also working on the United States with the mid-sized companies. The large chambers of commerce in the US focused on the large companies. These large companies obviously have their operations. They don't need as much help as, let's say, the mid-sized and the small companies within the United States, companies who are in different states like Ohio, Kentucky, Alabama, etc., who really did not know how to get into the Indian market. And we started bringing delegations. A lot of these delegations we brought were from governors and with governors. OSIP has done the largest number of delegations from the United States to India. We've done over close to 23 delegations. Most of these have been governor-led delegations or state-led delegations into India. And they cover wide range of states, wide range of industries. Average size of our delegations generally is about 40 people. We've done delegations with over 100 people also. And we brought in, as I said, many different industries. We brought in governors, senators, congressmen, CEOs of companies, educational institutions. And on the other side, we have hosted delegations from India, chief ministers who have brought delegations to the US. We've helped them in terms of matchmaking. We've helped them in terms of getting brand recognition. We've helped them in terms of meeting policymakers. So our role is very, very clear. OSIP basically looks to helping shape policies on both sides of the aisle that will facilitate trade and commerce. It also works in terms of assisting companies, both American companies and Indian companies, get into each other's marketplace by connecting companies together through matchmaking, through facilitating introductions, and also following up to make sure if there are any challenges that they face. And we do this in many ways, delegations being one of them, information sessions, advocacy being the other issues. Right now we are focused very heavily in the next, we have an education conclave, Indo-US education conclave coming up. And we are bringing one of the largest delegations from the United States. We have 25 leaders of states. These are Senate presidents, state majority leaders, who really have a lot to say about the individual states. They control the budgets and the policies of the states. Some of the best institutions in the United States are generally state-run universities, whether you look at Berkeley, which is part of the University of California, and many other, University of Pennsylvania, Wharton facilities. So we're bringing the state leaders who control budgets of these institutions. We're bringing university presidents and deans, about 20 or so are coming. And then we're bringing Fortune 500 captains of industries, companies like IBM, Home Depot, etc. So in all, it's going to be about 90 people coming. They are going to interact, exchange, and also match make with their counterparts here. We have policymakers, we have vice chancellors and heads of campuses, over 100 that are going to be here, and also there's going to be industry represented here. And the idea would be really how can the two countries come together in a field which is really going to be critical to the growth of each economy. India needs an educated workforce to really grow and develop and continue its growth, whether it's in the field of agriculture, whether it's in the field of mining, whether it's in the field of biotechnology, pharmaceuticals, etc., to provide health care to its people, to continue to provide food and grain to its people. And the United States, with some of the economic challenges that are happening, needs to continue to upgrade the quality of its education and its workforce. And they are looking at seeing how they can really interact with Indian universities, collaborate and learn, and also share. And so it is a unique opportunity that's happening in this education conclave. We are also looking forward to continuing to host events in technology, bringing CIOs from the United States to interact with their counterparts in India. We are also looking at a healthcare conclave that really engages in figuring out challenges that both countries face. The United States has an aging population. India has challenges of delivering health care into remote parts of the country. United States has expertise in telemedicine and those kinds of activities. India has large numbers of educated workforce in nursing and physical therapy. So I think there is a synergy that both can really leverage off each other. We're also looking at hosting a conclave on renewable energy in 2012. So we have very interesting activities coming up in really greenfield opportunities which really are a win-win situation. Education really is a key issue for both countries. Renewable energy is a key issue for both countries because they both are facing challenges in energy. Biotechnology, pharmaceutical, providing health care to its citizens is a real crying need for both countries. So I think if we can do something that really is a win-win opportunity for both countries, where it helps the people of the both countries, it helps entrepreneurs and business people of both countries, and it really foments a dialogue between policymakers of both countries, I think we would have really achieved a lot of success in what OSIP is really set forth to do, which is really promote trade and economic activity that really helps the people of both countries. We're talking about really how trade can benefit both countries across the board, and OSIP really is looking to be the platform, working with their partners, working with their members, working with its industry leaders on both sides of the continent. So it's a real opportunity. Today, U.S.-India trade is about $50 billion. We see it doubling to about $100 billion in the next 5 years because the opportunity is so huge. And I think OSIP can really play a significant role in doing that.